All right. Hey, everybody. Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. I want to go over MicroStrategy. Now, Bitcoin starting to have a really nice look to it. Here it is on TradingView. You can see the price now is, let's say I can barely see with my old eyes. It's kind of pushing back to 68,000. You look at the weekly chart and you can see a pretty decisive rebound here. So I'm not talking about Bitcoin, though. You could say I am when I talk MicroStrategy, because it's basically a Bitcoin stock. Their Bitcoin business is a hell of a lot bigger than their enterprise software business. But I look at this stock. We put it on the list back here on this day when it started to break out. Some of these are my drawings where I'm looking at how these Bollinger Bands are expanding, which is what they do when a stock is advancing. They move farther. They move farther away from each other, and that's what's happening here. So when I see this big, massive volume day on Wednesday, and then today we just closed a few minutes ago. We got slightly above average volume on a Friday, which is not typically the case unless there's news. I think this stock moves higher. I think these funds that are long Bitcoin and short MicroStrategy are probably they're probably run by dummies with really, really advanced degrees, because in my view, I guess I'm calling myself smarter than the dummies, and that's probably not true. But I'm being a little bit flippant here, but that's okay. I make a lot of money being flippant. Why don't you just be long MicroStrategy and Bitcoin? Because if MicroStrategy is levered to Bitcoin and you're long Bitcoin, we've got MicroStrategy up 10% today. Was Bitcoin up 10%? No. We'll have MicroStrategy up 15% in a day. Is Bitcoin up 10% or 15% in a day? No. So in my view, that's just the wrong trade. Now, just to be candid, I could absolutely be wrong. So I'm not pounding the table. I'm just saying, why cut yourself off at the knees when you don't have to? Why wouldn't you say, well, wait a minute, which is moving most? Okay, well, I think maybe I want to be long MicroStrategy and be short Bitcoin. Maybe that's a better. Oh, yeah, but MicroStrategy is overpriced. It's overvalued. Okay, dude, how can you say that? What makes you think that MicroStrategy is overvalued? I would say that in the same way as I would say, what makes you think MicroStrategy is undervalued? Are you the one? Are you Billy Ray Valentine who gets to set the price of pork bellies? No, you don't. You have to look and say, like, what is the market pricing this at? And that's fair value. So if you knew how to read a flipping chart, you would say, why do I want to be short a stock that is obviously going higher? That didn't work out really well with GameStop. Now you can say, well, sure it did. Those that shorted it up here made a boatload of money. Only a fool would think otherwise, though it was pretty hard to get a borrow up here because the shorts were still really, really high and they were scrambling because they'd been shorting down here. The point is, why would you short something? I can see if you're really arrogant, shorting something here because you think, oh, it's going to continue on a downtrend. But why would you still be short it when it's doing this? And now by now, you're thinking, I got to go back and reapply at 7-Eleven to get that night shift, make some of that coffee. Same thing with AMC. It didn't work out. And you can say, like, well, ultimately, I was proven right. So you shorted the stock at 350. You were short the stock at 350. Stock goes up to $12 and you're still short? No, you're not, because your broker would have margined you. They would have liquidated your position if you're down almost 250% in like 3 days, 2 days. So you have to look at the chart. And the whole point of this is, would you rather be right or would you rather make money? In this case, I don't think shorting MicroStrategy and being long Bitcoin is a viable trading strategy, but I'll say it again, and then I'll leave you with this. I could absolutely be wrong on that. I could absolutely be wrong. I'll just suggest to you, why don't you look at the trade? Why don't you look at the chart? Why don't you look at your account and say, okay, I don't do the whole hedging arbitrage BS thing. That's not what I do. Most hedge funds don't do it well, but they do it. Always getting new money coming in for reasons that escape me. But you can look at the chart and say, do I want to be long or short? Maybe you don't want to be either, but I think if you're short on this, you are going to be long-term wrong and in short-term pain. And I'll leave you with that. Have a good weekend. See you Monday.